Once I can confirm that I am audible, then we'll move on. And like I was saying, um, today we're going to be talking about creating your speech structure, how to make speaking easy for you. Okay, I'll try as much as I can to be brief, make it simple, break this topic uh, to be as simple as possible. Okay, and you will do me the favor of paying keen attention and asking questions where necessary. So, yes, back to okay. So, who is here with me? Once I can confirm, I'll go ahead. I said it already. So, please, if you are here, kindly make a comment. Let me know that you're watching. Okay, if you are here, make a comment. Let me know that you can hear me clearly so that we can go ahead. If my voice is faint as well, you can let me know that it's faint. Okay. Oh, good, good. I can now see your comments. I can see your comments. Welcome. Amazing, amazing. So, we'll go right into it. We'll go right into it. Okay. So this particular session, I would have loved to either I would have loved to use my whiteboard to illustrate. I would have loved to, but I I've had some kind of pain lately, and sitting for long wouldn't be an easy thing for me. So I'd have to be walking up and down, walking about. Yeah, so that's why I'll be using mainly audio. But pay attention closely, and I'm sure you will enjoy this class tonight. Okay. So this is how to create and prepare for a speech in less time. That's what I'm here to, to help you know, to help you understand. I also want you to take notes. Okay. Take notes. Take notes. I know some of you who are like me may not like to be taking notes, but really, this is not an ordinary session. Take notes. Okay. Now, I'm going to be showing you how I create and prepare for a speech in 3 minutes or less. You can call me to speak somewhere today, right? And you tell me that you need me to speak in the next 1 hour, right? You know what I would do? 3 minutes to the exact time, I can pull out a sheet of paper or my jotter, and then I'll just draft some things quickly on that sheet of paper. That paper I'm holding, I can use it to teach for 3 hours. I can use it to teach for 5 hours if you let me. Okay, but I'll teach you how to do this. It's not rocket science, it's not hard. Okay, So I'll go straight into the equation. I've introduced public speaking. We've done a lot of all those, the first, second, third days, So now let's look into this, right? This approach that I'm about to teach you, please and please only use it if you already previously have a solid grasp of the subject or the topic you are speaking on. Okay, let me say it again. If you already have a solid grasp of the subject you are talking on, that is when you are expected to use this framework I'll teach you. If you already have a solid grasp of the topic, then fine. Okay. But if you don't, you cannot violate the law of competence. You can't violate the law of competence. Okay. You must pay the price in understanding what you're going to speak about. You must pay the price. Okay, you can't cook it up, you can't make it up. If not, you run the risk of embarrassing yourself, embarrassing your ancestors on stage. And embarrassment on stage is not a small one. It's better that you're embarrassed in a circle of 3 4 people than for you to get embarrassed on a very large stage. Imagine going there and people ask you questions and you don't know anything, like the most basic thing everybody who is talking about that should know. You have no idea. Okay. It will be embarrassing, it will be shocking. So you don't want that to be you. Now, number one, number one. So if I want to create a speech immediately, ASAP, number one thing I want to do, I mean, if I'm told, CJ, please can you come to my school? We need you to do a talk on leadership, right? I'll quickly go and do brainstorm and mind dump. What did I say? Brainstorm and mind dump. Okay, what does this mean? You quickly write down all the ideas, key points, and thoughts related to the topic. Ideas, key points, thoughts related to the topic. So now you know the audience you are going to be speaking to, you know who they are, right? So you want to synthesize all that and just dump it on paper, dump everything on paper. Okay, what do I want to talk to these people about? Write them on paper. Okay. Now that paper can be scattered. I wish I had. Okay, I'll show you. I will show us examples, okay, because that's also part of what I'll be doing here tonight. I'll be showing you examples, typical examples of what I mean. Okay. I didn't plan to show my face tonight, but for the sake of this, I'll do that. So yeah, this is what I mean by this is what I mean by don't mind this my professional dressing. I didn't plan to show my face. Now I'm going to show you what I mean by brainstorming and mind dumping. Okay, I believe you can see this. So now I was to teach a class on networking, right? On networking, how to connect with people and all that. So what did I do? Have a look at this. Have a look at this. You'll see where I did my brainstorm and mind dump. Okay. Now you can see it's a bit jagged, it's a bit scattered. You can't even understand what I'm writing here because I'm doing a mind dump. I'm doing brainstorming session with myself. Okay. And I'm dumping everything that I think, everything that crosses my head at that moment. I dump it. Let me put my phone in landscape. I think it's going to be better. Okay, remain with me. So you know, I had to brainstorm. I had to brainstorm and dump everything here. Okay, so you can see this. Sorry, this way. Okay, you can see what I did here. Now on the other side, that's where the next one comes in. You will see, you will notice something. I started synthesizing. Okay, I had written a lot here, a lot of different things here. But then when I came here, it started to make sense. Okay, you see all the things that I wrote here. It began to make a little bit of sense, right? And then it continued. Now, this is me doing what I call fleshing it out. Okay, you see. And then I continued to create more and more and more, and you see even my handwriting gets better. Now let me explain to you what I mean. I mean what I did there. Remember, the first stage is brainstorm and mind dump, right? Brainstorming and mind dump. Now the second, oh my goodness, these people are taking little. They've seized power. It's all good. So the next one, I can't continue like this. Bear with me. Bear with me. These unfortunate lots that are looking for who to frustrate, but they won't see me. Okay. So I already mentioned brainstorm and mind dump. Then the next is to outline your flow. Outline your flow. Okay, what does this entail? What does this outlining your flow entail? What does it entail? Outline your flow using this speech framework. Okay, I had to put this together. Use a speech framework to outline your flow, and the framework is this. Your speech should have an introduction, right? Then you should have key points and then conclusion. Now, this is not the regular speech structure. If you noticed, I already gave us a regular speech structure before in the introductory class. If you missed it, you should go and watch that video. This time around, you have limited time to prepare. You have limited time to prepare and present your speech. Okay? So you don't have all the time to start, you know, talking cock and bull stories. And most of the time, too, you may not even have enough time for everything, right? So what you want to do is, number one, understand that your speech should have an introduction. Now, this is two. This is you outlining your flow, right? So there should be an introduction, then key points, then conclusion. So let me give you an example quickly. I've been called to speak on why relationships don't last. Okay, so why relationships don't last in the 21st century. I just made up this topic, and somebody, let's assume I was called to do an impromptu speech and I had maybe 2 minutes to prepare. In fact, see, no impromptu speech is truly impromptu. Why? All your life, you're gathering experiences that will help you tell great stories and share a great message when the opportunity comes. So, this kind of thing now, you must have synthesized thoughts in your head, and that's why it's good to be a progressive thinker. Always think, always create stories in your head, always create, events in your head and all that. Now, um, why relationships in the 21st century don't last. So now I'm introducing this speech. What would I say? Right? What would I want to add to the introduction? I would say that what are relationships, and what's the context of the discussion for this? What's the context of the discussion? I can say, okay, um the context of this relationship, there are different types of relationships, obviously, but the context of this conversation is referring to relationship between people who are in love with themselves, you know, people who probably see themselves together and want to, get serious, want to get married, the kind of relationship that exists between a fiance and their partner, or a husband and his wife. So why do relationships not last in the 21st century? So you see, I've given an introduction, right? I've given an introduction. After that introduction, the introduction can be different things, right? I can now talk about myself and give reasons why I am a good option to listen to. Like, I call it credibility metrics or credibility chips, right? So I can say I've been hosted on multiple platforms to talk about human relationships, and sometimes these topics cut across love and and romantic relationships and all that. I did a training on this, and I'm a certified life coach, meaning that I help people, solve life problems that interfere with everything they do, right? So there are basically four things I would say tonight that if we understand it, it can change the way we see relationships, and it will make our lives better. And those four things are this. Number one, can you see? I'm itemizing the points. It makes it easier for people to understand. It makes it more sticky for them. So, number one, the relationships of those days have changed. It's no longer the same. I mean, relationship now is not the same as what it used to be in the days of our fathers. And one of the reasons is because there were lower expectations from both parties. You know, thanks to social media, people are coming to push unhealthy extremes and expectations. The woman is saying, "Oh, I can't date a man if he doesn't give me 2 million per month." And the man is saying, "I can't date a woman who doesn't, work and bring how much to the table," whatever the case may be, right? I can count that as my first point. Two, number two is that the economy is bad. So generally, it is frustrating both parties, the man and the woman, the male and the female. On people are now under serious financial stress and pressure, and it is not allowing them the luxury of the time, and the passion to actually enjoy the relationships in their lives. That's number two. Three is the fact that there has been an unhealthy imbalance in the training and mentoring space. A lot of training and mentoring has been going to one party, and that is the ladies, the girls. We see programs every day: train the girl child, raise the girl child, support the girl child, mentor the girl child, all those things. But now, I'm just, you see how these points are coming out. I didn't even need to prepare for a second, but it's because there's a framework of your speech in your head. If you don't have a framework, you will suffer. Take it from me, you will suffer. You will suffer trying to impress your audience. You'll suffer trying to create your speech. You'll suffer. But with this, it's easier, right? So I've identified 2 to 3 critical points. So having all this said, conclusion. Okay? Conclusion. And what's the conclusion? Tie everything together with a clear takeaway or a memorable closing line. Okay? So having said all this, the best way that we can have fruitful relationships, in my opinion, is to lower the expectations. We should be more kind. We should be more accommodating to ourselves and understand that we're going through a lot together. Again, training and mentoring programs should start targeting the boy child too. Because if we don't raise the boys today, if we end up only raising the ladies Tomorrow, those ladies are eventually going to meet the beast that we've left off as men, as husbands. Okay, so do you see how this whole thing is falling in place? You see how it's falling in place now? Okay, so now the next is outline. Okay, I've already talked about outline. You see, this IKC will help you to create an outline for a speech you need to prepare to ASAP. IKC, introduction, key points, 2 to 3 key points is okay, and then you close. Okay, IKC, introduction, key points, close, or conclusion. Now, the next thing we'll discuss is fleshing out your speech. Now you've written down your speech, you've written it down, you've written down introduction, intro, talk about so so and so, key points. One, entitlement. Two, this. Three, financial pressure. Four, the other one. Now, conclusion, this and that. Okay. Now, the next part of this is where the magic lies. Flesh out your speech. Those things you've written is a skeleton, is a framework. You need to add flesh to it. And you can make this easy by employing artificial intelligence. You can do it yourself, but to save you time, use artificial intelligence and learn how to prompt. It's called prompting. Prompting. Learn how to tell the machine what to do. Learn how to program the machine to think the way you do. When you see some of my social media posts, you will not know they were edited by AI. You won't know they were even made by AI, and I edited some of them. Why? I have programmed my AI tools to think the way I do. To the point that sometimes when I want to create a content, I ask ChatGPT to think like me. Pretend you are Chijoke Otiba. Think like me, speak like in my own voice, address this issue. So when I do that, I will even still come and edit. There was one post I made recently, and I talked about, I was talking about multi-potentiality, and I said, corn can be turned into different things. Some of you may have seen the post. You can use corn for conflicts, for pap, for different things, different things. And I added an even Emilo corn. Emilo corn, like I spelled it as EMILOCORN. That was humor intended, right? But it gave my content some form of originality and authenticity. People would not feel like I copied it from somewhere when they see things like that. Okay, so learn to use AI to flesh out your speech. You can use ChatGPT or other tools to quickly expand your ideas or refine your point. So what you will do is copy all those things that you've done already, all the points, copy everything, go to ChatGPT, put it and type flesh it out. Flesh this out. I have a presentation in the next 30 minutes. This is my framework. This is what I intend to speak on. You know, flesh this out into a proper standard presentation. Okay, so when it does the fleshing out, you can now use your hand and rewrite on another paper from the ideas given to you from that chat gpt. You can now rewrite, and you will see more things that you may need to focus on. Okay, so you can have a standard presentation if you want to write down. Otherwise, you can still just have key points in your notes. Remember, don't use paper for speech. Don't write on paper and don't read from your phone. Carry a notebook if you must use a notebook or a notepad. Okay, something that is more tech friendly, not your phone. Now, um set up and get ready. Right, this is another thing that you need to know. Set up and get ready. If you are speaking virtually, check your lighting, get all those things ready, pull them close to you, right? Check your lighting, your sound, background. If you are going in person, compose yourself, relax, okay? Relax, focus, ensure you are at the venue early. Now, the next thing you do is prioritize your key points. Don't forget. Don't go telling unnecessary stories so that you don't outrun your time. I mean, you don't run out of time. Okay, prioritize key points. Highlight the most essential ideas to fit within your available time. The next that you need to consider is confidence. Appear calm, confident, collected. Do not, never disclose that you were not prepared. They don't know and they don't need to know. Never come and tell your audience, I just had 2 minutes to prepare for this. I just started preparing for this. It will lower their confidence in you. Okay. Then the next one is own your moment. Own your moment. When you get to this stage, do not even act as if you did not, as if you just prepared in 2 minutes. No. Own the stage. Let the fire of the passion burn within you. Own the stage. It's yours. Okay, shine, deliver with passion, clarity, and presence. Okay, now I'm going to teach you a formula for designing and structuring longer speeches within 5 minutes or less. Who wants to learn that? So, um, you can have a speech that will last 5 hours. How will you design it? How will you figure out what to say? Now, let me give you a structure that even without preparation, even without paper, even without Google, without anything, there are some topics that if you call me now to come and speak on for hours, I'll do that gladly from my head. Now, how do I do that? Number one is what? I call it W3HC formula. Okay, it's my own formula. Otiba's W3HC formula. Right? The first W is what? What? Okay, and that what is looking at history, is looking at definition of terms, is looking at types, origin. Okay, is the foundation. You are laying a foundation for your speech. So let's say, for example, mentorship. I want to talk on mentorship and I get on stage. My foundation, what is mentorship? Let me tell you a story. This story happened when I was in nursery school. Okay, I'm speaking now. I'm speaking so that you don't get confused. I'm speaking, right? So this is me. I'm going to speak on mentorship. Hello, everyone. I'm here to tell you a story about something that happened when I was still in my nursery school. It was far back in 17 BC in ancient Greece when my friend named Odysseus was about to go for a war and he needed to hand over his son to somebody else to take care of his son till he comes back. And we were actually three friends: myself, Odysseus, and Mentor. Yes, Mentor was actually his real name. So, because he trusted Mentor's ability, capacity to hunt, to fight, he wanted his son to be a fighter just like Mentor. So he handed his son over to Mentor to take care of his son till he, Odysseus, returns from the war. Okay, so his son's name, Telemachus. Telemachus was a very young, passionate boy. But just because of that singular act, Telemachus ended up becoming as strong as Mentor. He fought several wars and he was dreaded in the midst of every fight. I've told you a story, whether you believe it or not, whether you think I was born then or not, whether you think I met Mentor or not, that one's not my business for now. But I've told you a story, right? So that is actually the origin of the word mentor. That's etymology. If you want your speech to sound more interesting, you can introduce etymological foundations and type etymology. It makes you sound philosophical and smart. So, mentor, etymology, you will see the history of that word, the first place where the word mentor was used and how it came to be. Okay, so it can help you tell a great story. Now, when you are done with the foundations, okay, types of mentorship, right? What is mentorship, the types, and all that. You are why mentorship? Why is mentorship important? What are the benefits? Why should you sit here and listen to me talk to you about mentorship? That's the next step. That's the next step. What's the importance? The next is why not? Why not usually appeals to peculiar challenges. Why do people not embrace mentorship? What are the challenges to mentorship, to embracing mentorship in our time? Okay, this one is optional. There are some topics that you may not be able to put why not. That's fine. But okay, you have more time, you have time, and you have a lot to cover. You want to make your speech more interesting. Add some of these things, especially when it is a teaching speech. There's a difference between an inspirational speech and an instructive speech, instructional speech. There's a difference between an instructional, informative, and inspirational speech. Okay? So if I'm coming to inspire, I may want to tilt more towards stories. I wouldn't come and be doing what, why, how, why not for people that I want to inspire. So let's say we have a group of young children, primary school, secondary school children, and I want to inspire them to embrace personal development. I'm not going to come there and start telling, oh, number one, what is personal development? Two, A, three, AB, three, four, BC. No. I will come there and I'll tell them a story, a good story about myself, about my family, what inspired me. Okay? That's the only way to get them inspired. Not by giving them a lecture, a boring lecture. No. Okay? So it all depends on the speech that you're presenting. But if you're doing an informative or instructive, instructional speech, this framework always works, right? So when you are done with the why not, you get into the how. Now, the trick here is when you were talking about why not, you were looking at barriers to adoption, common objections, reasons people resist a particular thing, an idea, a thought, right? When you now get to the how, you want to start objectively solving the problems of the why not. Okay? You want to start looking at the challenges and how to remove those challenges, the barriers and how to jump over them. You want to start looking into practical strategies, step by step approaches, proven models, right? And then the next one you want to look into finally is call to action or pitch. So you want to close with a clear next step. Clear next step, very important. An invitation to act or a powerful pitch. Okay, so the next one, the next one. So within the next, okay, I think this one that I'm about to teach you, I would want to I would want to have more people here, okay? Because I want it to be really interactive. I want it to be interactive. The next class we'll be having is on impromptu speaking, or I could as well run through it now. I'll run through it. I'll go through it now. Okay? I'll go through it now so that we can, press further into other things, other objectives for the session, the program. So now, how do you speak impromptu? I drafted out formulas here, three formulas or four that you can always fall back on when you want to do impromptu speaking. Okay, the first one is real, REAL. This can be used for giving a toast. So, example, you are invited to give a toast at your friend's birthday party. Okay, REAL. R stands for recognize. Recognize the occasion or the honoree. E stands for express. Express gratitude or admiration. A stands for add. Add a personal story or highlight. L stands for lift. Lift your glass and make the toast. Okay? So let's follow this. Let's follow this. Let's make a toast. Okay? I'm toasting to my friend's birthday. I was invited to give a toast at my friend's birthday party. Tonight we celebrate Chinedu for their incredible contribution to for his incredible contribution to humanity. Chinedu is someone I really admire, and I would want to seize this opportunity to say thank you. You remember the first thing I said, we would like to celebrate Chinedu on the occasion of his birthday. Today commemorate, we rejoice with him for adding a year to his life. One, two, gratitude, appreciation. Okay, express gratitude. Okay, now I want to use this opportunity to say a very big thank you to Chinedu for all he has been doing for humanity, all the sacrifice he has made, even for his friends. I remember, you see, you have gone from gratitude into a story, usually a personal story. I remember those days I had just one pair of shoes. And when he came to my room and saw that I only had one pair of shoes, he bought an extra pair for me. I didn't have to ask him for it, but he did it as a friend. That singular act of kindness stuck with me forever. Okay? On this very special day, I would want to use this moment to celebrate a real icon. Here's to Chinedu and many more great moments. When you're now saying here's to, you are lifting your cup, right? So this is easy. This is pretty easy. You don't have to cram it. You don't have to cram, and it doesn't have to be stereotyped. I don't even like using formulas. Feel free, express yourself. You know, um, on this very special day, we are celebrating this young man, a very amazing guy, very amazing. Always willing to sacrifice, always willing to give, always willing to care, to show support any way he can. I remember the day he came to my room and saw that my curtain was, looking bad, and he replaced it for me. Chinedu is generous. Almost every one of us here has a story to tell about him. Cheers to life, Chinedu. Cheers to life. Cheers to abundance. And it's our special prayer that you will keep prospering in all your ways. Let's make a toast to this young man. and you raise your cup. And so it doesn't have to be scripted. It doesn't have to be. Okay. Now the next one, gift formula. If you're giving a vote of thanks, for example, right? G is for greet. Greet the audience. I is for identify. Identify key people or groups to appreciate. Appreciate. Three is focus. F, focus. Focus on a specific contribution they made. Then finally, thank everyone sincerely and close positively. So you see, it's still basically the same. You can't be caught unawares. You can't be stranded. So it's not the one that they will call you tomorrow and say, come and give a vote of thanks. And you're like, no, they did not tell me. I am not prepared. No, get up on that stage. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming for this. It's been a really amazing occasion, a very fantastic one. I really want to use this opportunity to appreciate those who have made significant efforts, into ensuring that this program was a success. Chief Onwazo, thank you so much for the sponsorship. Sir and Lady Michael Obara, thank you so much for the support that you've rendered us and for the mentorship that you daily provide. Mr. Obi Ezono, thank you so much. All these names I mentioned, they're hypothetical. They don't. I don't know what I'm not. I don't know who I'm calling. So please, it's a coincidence if it falls into anybody's name that you know. It's just I'm just making up names, right? So you mentioned specific people and what exactly they did, what exactly you were thanking them for, right? And then thank everyone. You know, thank everyone and close positively. That's all, Lou. Simple and short. Okay. Finally, to all the attendees, your presence made this event meaningful. Thank you and have a wonderful evening. That's all. Okay. So you start by appreciating the organizers, appreciating those who have made significant contributions, appreciate them for those things that they did. Then you progress from there to, to thanking everybody, right? The next is the STAR formula, STAR. Okay. The STAR formula for answering unexpected questions. So if you're asked an unexpected question, you may want to take time to process it. Okay, so STAR will help you. S is stay calm. Stay calm and confident. T, think before you speak. A, acknowledge the questions and provide a structured response. And then R, relate it to the broader discussion or audience needs. Okay, stay calm, think, acknowledge the question, provide a structured response, then relate it to the broader discussion or the audience needs. Now, understand that if you don't even know the answer to the question, don't feel bad. Some people panic at that point, but no, it's not the right thing to do. Don't feel bad. Take your time, breathe, relax, appear confident, tell the person asking the question, appreciate them. Thank you very much for that question. I really appreciate. I mean, this is a very, very valid question. However, I do not have the exact information for this at the moment. But what I'm going to do for you is this. You can have my number. You can reach out to me via mail, or you can send me a message anywhere on social media. I will find the right information for now and I'll send it to you. Now, you're not saying that you don't entirely know, but you are trying to save yourself from giving the wrong information to people. Okay, so this question you asked is a very important one. However, because of changing trends in the modern world, it would be hard to give you the exact information for this time. Okay? So I would go back, I'll do a good research on this, and I'll get back to you. So that way, you're not entirely saying that you don't know anything. No, but you are being a professional. by not wanting to give people assumed information. Okay, so that's it. um you can also throw the question to the audience. It's called redirection. So they ask you something that you don't know. They ask you something you don't know, but you are sure somebody in the audience will know that answer. And you're like, okay, so this is also an opportunity for me to learn. Thank you for that question. I think it's time for me to also learn. I would like to hear what you think. Before I even go ahead and provide my own insight, I may not be exactly 100% correct, but before I proceed to sharing my own insights, let me see what the audience has to say. You've redirected. And from the audience perspectives, most of the time you'll get the answer. It will click. Okay, so at the end of the day, you may not even need to provide anything fresh, anything new. You just may need to just put the audience answers together. You weave them together, sew them together, and you have a very beautiful answer at the end of the day. But it's wisdom. Okay, so finally, for short motivational speeches, you can use pace, 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 PACE. P is paint a picture. A is acknowledge the struggle. C is connect with a lesson or key insight. E is empower with a call to action. Okay, just know that most of the time, the beginning is going to be a salutation or a greeting, or a story, however you want to start. At the end, you need a call to action. You need to leave a call to action. Okay, then the difference here when it comes to motivational speeches, you want to paint a picture. You want to tell a relatable story. You want to create a challenge. See, motivation is challenge driven. People are never really going to be motivated by you until they can see that you pass through the same challenges or the same problems that they are passing through, and then you overcame. So lead in with those stories. When I was in school, by my third year in school, my uncle threw me out of his house. And this did not happen. I'm just saying, I'm just giving an example of a speech, right? When you say something like that, you now see, okay, other people who are there who may have relatable experiences or similar experiences, they will get you, they will feel you, they will connect with you. Okay, so you tell the story, then you connect to the key lesson. Maybe the key lesson there is for people to work hard so that they will not become dependent on anybody. That may be the key lesson. So you narrate your story, share, the character crisis, the epiphany, how you healed from what you went through, or how you got better, how you moved on. Ehen. So now after that, you now want to use a call to action. Tell people what to do next. Okay? So this is an example. Many of us fear public speaking, but even great speakers started with fear. The secret is practice and persistence. Next time you speak, take a deep breath, smile, and own your voice. You've got this. This is a very short speech, very, very short, right? But it contains those parts, and you can elaborate those parts. Okay? So, finally, public speaking is a skill that can be mastered. Okay, what you need is clarity. Know your message, know your audience. Be confident in your craft. Be confident on stage. Practice and refine your delivery. Then connect your audience with authenticity. That's the only way you make impact as a speaker. Okay, so I would want to pause here. It's almost 1 hour mark. So if there's any questions regarding what we've done tonight, I would want you to come to the group chat and drop them. I hope you got something from here tonight. Feel free to to share in the group. Okay. So do have an amazing night rest. Bye.